Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent to speak as if in morning business.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we know our planet's in danger, and later this year, we'll be debating a climate bill to address our environmental challenges. And I'm glad to see my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are doing their part for the environment by recycling 15-year-old talking points on the budget. President Bush left us a terrible mess: high unemployment, high deficits, millions without health care. Now, I'm referring to the first President Bush and the mess inherited by President Bill Clinton. One of my colleagues at the time said Clinton's budget would, quote, destroy the economy. Well, I think everyone knows that the Clinton years did not destroy the economy. In fact, they created about 22 million new jobs. And let's look at some of the newspaper headlines from back then. First of all, just this week, Politico's banner headline was GOP warns about budget hardball. That's what we've been hearing on the floor, hardball. People come down time after time attacking President Obama's budget. But back in 1995, we heard the same thing, Mr. President. GOP plan for budget to take no prisoners. 1993, GOP's politics of no. Sound familiar? GOP politics of no. 1993, one-word vocabulary hobbles GOP. Republicans grouse as Senate takes up budget bill. You could recycle, Mr. President, and in fact, that's what they're doing, every single one of these comments and every single one of these headlines. Mr. President, the American people voted for change last November, and they're tired of all of this. They're tired of the naysaying, the doom and the gloom. They deserve better than a Republican repeat. And that's unfortunately what is happening. A Republican repeat, same old politics of no, slow walking, filibustering, same old policies. Every problem should have a tax cut for the wealthy to solve it. That's what got us into this mess. We hear the same old thing from our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. We hear no to health care reform in the budget, no to creating 3.5 million new jobs through the recovery plan. We hear no to increasing oversight of our financial sector, no to extending unemployment for those most in need, certainly in my great state of Michigan. The answer has been no. To a common sense budget that provides middle-class tax cuts and will cut the deficit in half in 4 years. What do we hear? No. Mr. President, the budget we're working on now focuses on the real problems affecting American families. The things that people sit down with their families and struggle over every day. The Obama budget invests in America's future by focusing on jobs, by focusing on health care, focusing on energy independence and education. That's what our families are concerned about as they're trying to juggle what to pay first amid the crisis that they feel today. Mr. President, this is a budget that we need to do right now. We need to move past the politics of no and start working together to do what's right for American families. I urge my colleagues to look past the next election cycle and to pass this budget to get America back on track again. Thank you.
Mr.